The FBI now confirms it is investigating allegations of a hack, not just on the Trump campaign, but also the Biden-Harris campaign. A source familiar with the matter tells NBC News the hacks targeted former Trump advisor Roger Stone and 3 Biden-Harris campaign staffers. And while Stone told the Washington Post authorities notified him of his email being compromised, the source who spoke with NBC News said it is not clear whether it worked on the Biden staffers. The hack worked, whether it did. Joining us now, NBC News correspondent Garrett Haake. So the FBI is investigating. What more can you tell us about these alleged hacks?
Well, not a lot is the bottom line, Katie. The FBI is only confirming that they're investigating. Most of the rest of the information we have comes from the Trump campaign. They believe that this was Iran or Iranian-linked elements that did the hacking. There has been some reporting in the national security space, including from Microsoft last week, suggesting that Iran was going to try to use some kind of cyber capability to meddle in this election. We also know that there have been anonymous email accounts basically shopping around what does seem to be internal information from the Trump campaign, specifically related to J.D. Vance. Although, again, I want to clarify that we cannot affirmatively connect these two events. Most of what we're going with here is the Trump campaign's assertion, Roger Stone, in great irony, being one of the people to get hacked here or say he's been hacked here, given his role in the WikiLeaks episode of 2016, and the FBI just now getting to work on this with a hack that apparently happened in June.
All right, let's also talk about the conversation that Donald Trump had with Elon Musk last night. It was long, it was winding, said a lot of things, not a lot of substance there, but he said a lot of things. How do his allies feel about the way that he's waging this campaign right now? It doesn't seem like he's landed on a way to campaign against Kamala Harris.
No, it does seem to be a little bit all over the place, Katie. Look, as regards to Musk, he is an important ally, and his following there is something that I think the Trump campaign believes is not necessarily duplicated by shows like this or his appearances on Fox News. He could reach a different audience by going on and talking to Musk on a streaming platform. But there is a lot of concern in the Republican Party more broadly, basically not folks on Donald Trump's payroll, that his messaging isn't breaking through. He needs to do more, and he needs to be more aggressive in targeting Kamala Harris' record specifically, not her biography, not her race, but her record and the policies that she has laid out, particularly when she ran for president in 2019, 2020, and the things that she can be tied to in the Biden administration. I think the Trump campaign feels like they've got some time for this. They know they're not going to be able to interrupt her momentum before the convention next week, but it's pretty clear, it's evident that Donald Trump is kind of frustrated by her ascent and is trying a little bit of everything to take some of the shine off what's been an ascendant Democratic ticket without much evident success.
You know, you could also argue they're giving her a long lead to define herself without defining her for the voters, which is what most campaigns would try to do, especially when they had somebody that's coming into the race all of a sudden without much of a stamp on the public mentality. Garrett Haake, Garrett, thank you so much.